been fascinated by space since antiquity. If you were in Paris 231 years ago, you would have seen a guy flying above the tallest of the buildings in a giant balloon-shaped object. Well, yes, that was the first hot air balloon. 120 years later, Wright brothers came up with the aeroplane. And in the year 1957, man began his journey into exploring a new frontier called space, when Soviet Union launched Sputnik 1. United States soon joined the wagon of exploration and launched the first ever manned mission to moon. And now we have come so far that we are discovering and monitoring planets. But at what cost? Have you ever thought what happens to the body of the rocket that carries these satellites into space? What happens to the satellites when they are not operational, when they are beyond human control? What happens to the spacecrafts that do not make it back to the Earth's orbit? Well, the answer to all these questions is that they become space junk. Space junk, also known as orbital debris, refers to all that matter that is outside, orbiting in the Earth's orbit and which is outside human control. Now, according to NASA Space Orbital Debris Program Office, there are 4 items that primarily constitute as space junk. First, derelict or abandoned spacecraft. When spaceships or parts of spaceships no longer work, they are left to float around space indefinitely. Solid rocket motor effluents. Some space shuttles use solid rocket motor fuel for propulsion. After the launch, some fuel can be left over and will float around in whatever container it flew up with. Third is tiny flecks of paint. Now, although it may be hard to believe, there are potentially millions of tiny flakes of paints orbiting around Earth's orbit. Heat or impact with other small particles usually chip off paint specks from the spacecraft and turns them into space junk. And last are the upper stages of launch vehicles. The final stages are called upper stages because they are located near the top of the entire shuttle. Fast-moving pieces of debris less than 1/4 of an inch can pierce a spacesuit. According to recent estimates, there are around 3 million pieces of debris larger than a centimeter in diameter orbiting Earth. The bigger pieces of debris have the ability to bring down an entire satellite. In the year 2013, a Russian weather satellite was knocked down by such debris and it left a lot of such particles orbiting around Earth's orbit. Now, a $2,700 putty knife is orbiting the Earth waiting for such a satellite. Space junk is a pressing issue because not only the risk of objects falling from atmosphere is increasing day by day, but also the population of orbital debris is increasing with the effect of a chain reaction. In order to tackle this issue, many space research organizations such as NASA have designed few measures. The objects that constitute space junk, as mentioned earlier, can be addressed using technologically advanced mechanisms. Like, the upper stages of launch vehicles and solid rocket motor effluents can be shot out of Earth's orbit using laser-based debris removal. Now, the latest and the most fruitful method is to capture the debris through a timber sweeper and employ the capabilities of a sling sack to project the debris out of Earth's orbit. Now, we need more such innovations in this field, and more than that, we need to sensitize countries about orbital debris. While the creation of orbiting junk continues to rise with each rocket launch, there is no market to tackle this issue directly. Well, the third world countries, in race to display their technological advancements, are launching satellites without realizing the long-term effect of such space objects. We have reached the point of no return. The debris will continue to get worse in terms of collision threats, even if not another satellite would launch. The problem will continue to get worse. This menacing problem and the possible cleanup solutions are international in scope. International bodies like International Space Exploration Coordination Group and NASA Orbital Space Debris Program Office should run awareness and sensitizing programs about space junk, and innovations should be made for automatic trajectory of satellites from Earth's orbit when they are nearing the end of their lifespan. Space exploration promised us alien life, lucrative planetary mining, and fabulous lunar colonies. Well, newsflash, space is nearly empty. It's a sterile vacuum filled with mostly the junk that we put up there. Now it is upon us to collectively innovate ways to clean up the junk. We, the current generation, have a moral responsibility to make the world a better place for future generations. Let us not seek to fix the blame for the past. Let us accept our own responsibility for the future and tackle this problem which is growing as we speak.